Donald Trump was absolutely raging in public over Fox host Jessica Tarlov. Donald Trump posted, "I can't stand Jessica Tarlov. Of the five, a real loser!" Exclamation point DJT.
Trump just called Jessica Tarlov, a Fox News host, a real loser. Why? Because she honored an immigrant cop killed in a mass shooting and dared to call him a hero. Fox defends Trump through Epstein.
It all began with a seemingly harmless segment on a late-night talk show. The lights were dimmed, the audience buzzing, and the host, one of America's most beloved comedians, walked out onto the stage with a grin that said he had something big up his sleeve. What followed in the next 10 minutes would send shockwaves through both political and media circles. By the end of the monologue, Donald Trump and Fox News would be in full damage control mode, scrambling to do damage control over jokes that cut far too close to the truth. The host didn't hold back, with precision and flair. He opened with, "So apparently, Trump is now saying he had nothing to do with the January 6th rally. That's right, folks. Next he'll say he wasn't even president." The audience roared, but that was just the beginning. Clips of Fox News anchors parroting talking points played on the screen behind him. The host smirked and said, "It's like they're all reading from the same teleprompter, or maybe the same text message from Trump." Then came the part that truly set off alarms at Fox headquarters. The host played a mashup of various Fox News personalities, all using the exact phrase, "We're just asking questions."
That's not out there kissing Trump's ass. Donald Trump has to attack her, a powerful female, crushing it on the Fox. Shout out Jessica Tarlov right there. And despite state regime media, aka Fox, doing everything it can to cover up for Donald Trump's Epstein connections and to try to cover up for Donald Trump's disastrous trade war against the world and to act even more embarrassing than Kim Jong-un's media,
Fox defends Trump through Epstein, trade wars, and pure embarrassment. But Jessica Tarlov didn't play the game. She spoke her mind. And in the Fox universe, that's the real scandal. One honest sentence, and suddenly, Trump's online calling her a loser. Because truth, in that bubble, is the real threat. If that meltdown shocked you, don't blink. Because what Fox says next, it makes loser look like a love letter.
Knows how weak the Europeans are, and he squeezed $1 trillion out of them. Trump's imposing his will on the world and making other countries invest here after decades of American companies.
He paused and looked at the audience. "Yeah, and I'm just asking why you guys are still on the air." The live audience was in stitches, but the fallout was swift and furious. Within hours, Fox hosts began firing back on their own shows. Tucker Carlson's replacement opened his show by calling the monologue a pathetic attempt at comedy by a fading entertainer. Laura Ingraham called it a coordinated media hit job against real journalism. But the one who took it the hardest, unsurprisingly, was Donald Trump himself. He took to Truth Social with a string of posts, all in capital letters, all posted within minutes of each other. "Late-night losers are destroying America. Total witch hunt. Never had ratings like me. Fake comedy." Sources inside Mar-a-Lago say Trump was furious, pacing back and forth, shouting about suing the network, the host, and even the show's sponsors. He kept saying, "They're mocking me. They're mocking me," like it was the worst thing that ever happened to him. One staffer leaked anonymously, but behind the bravado, it was clear the jokes had hit a nerve, because they weren't just jokes, they were truths, wrapped in punchlines. The host had pointed out the revolving door of Fox contributors who later became Trump staffers. He showed side-by-side images of segments where Fox pushed narratives that appeared almost verbatim in Trump's speeches. The next day, he even played a deepfake parody video that imagined what a real Fox News editorial meeting might sound like. "Okay, everyone, Trump wants us to make up a scandal about Biden's dog again. Let's get on that by noon." The audience loved it. The internet exploded. Clips of the segment went viral, racking up millions of views on YouTube and X within hours. Hashtags like #TrumpMeltdown and #FoxNewsExposed began trending across the
Nile in HD.
Remember how they said Trump was a taco president, aka Trump always chickens out? Well, the world chickened out. Europe called him daddy, and daddy just gave him a spanking. And now they're worried about daddy's mood swings.
Why you're in a bad mood? Was it a bad morning golf, or why you're not in a good mood? No, the golf was beautiful.
Somewhere along the way, Fox stopped covering politics and started pitching a sitcom where Daddy Trump runs the world with a golf club and mood swings. And this aired with zero irony. At this point, it's hard to tell if Fox is covering a president or writing fan mail with camera crews.
The only thing that would make it worse is if somebody changed the lyrics to a song by his beloved Village People to drive it home.
Choco, Choco Man. I want to be a Choco Man. Choco, Choco Man. Yeah. I've got to be a Choco. Choco, Choco Man. I want to be a Choco Man. Choco, Choco Man. I've got to be a Choco.
Hey, he wanted to be a macho man. We got Taco Man instead. This could be the new YMCA. They can play it at rallies. You can do TACO. Right?
When the propaganda starts sounding like parody, and the parody starts sounding like campaign ads, you know we've crossed into uncharted territory. Welcome to Taco Man America.
So with Daddy, they call him Dad. What's up with Fox and
Country. And while Fox tried to frame the moment as a smear campaign, others saw it as long overdue satire. Media analysts weighed in, saying the segment may mark a turning point in how mainstream comedy holds power accountable. This wasn't just a roast, said one analyst on CNN. This was investigative comedy truth through laughter. Meanwhile, late-night writers revealed that the host had personally approved every line in the monologue. He knew it was risky, one writer said, but he also knew the audience was ready for someone to say what we're all thinking. The White House had no official comment, but insiders say even President Biden chuckled at the segment. One aide reportedly walked into a West Wing meeting and said, "So, did everyone see the monologue?" As the room burst into laughter, but Trump wasn't laughing. His team began issuing press releases. His PAC sent out fundraising emails titled, "Defend Trump Against the Comedy Elites," and late-night hosts think you're stupid. The irony. The email linked to a donation page that crashed within minutes due to traffic. Even Trump's allies began distancing themselves from the feud. One Republican senator told Politico, "This is not the hill to die on. Most Americans can tell the difference between a joke and a policy." Yet Trump couldn't let it go. He demanded Fox devote airtime to defending him, and when producers hesitated, he accused them of betrayal. In a private dinner with conservative donors, Trump reportedly launched into a tirade about the host. He used to be funny. Now he's just a puppet, a Biden puppet. The backlash didn't end there. Comedians across networks began showing solidarity. Another late-night host opened their show with, "I'd say Trump took it well. But then again, I've seen toddlers handle finger painting better." Saturday Night Live announced a surprise cold open dedicated entirely to Trump's meltdown. The sketch showed Trump hiding in a closet with a laptop, furiously tweeting insults at comedians while trying to watch reruns of himself on The Apprentice. Even international outlets picked up the story. The BBC aired a segment titled, "When Jokes Hit Home: Trump and the Power of Satire." Psychologists were brought onto news shows to discuss why Trump reacts so strongly to mockery. He views it as an existential threat, one expert explained, because ridicule undermines his perception of power. In a strange twist, the whole saga reignited interest in political
Is what passes for political analysis now. Golf, gripping strength, and a flashback to your dad grabbing your arm in 2004. When masculinity becomes the metric, facts get benched and feelings lift the narrative. Heavy lifting? Maybe. Just not for the people who need help.
Europe called him Daddy, and Daddy just gave him a spanking. And now they're worried about Daddy's mood swings. Daddy hates leaks in the house. The question is, who's Daddy going to negotiate with? So did Daddy do it or did Daddy do it? Trump is politically jacked. Trump golfs. He has dad strength, though. You know dad strength? Unblemished record of heterosexuality. He looks good. I think he's fine. I don't need to know what pills he's taking or what he's not taking. He looks great. Hoax alert, new hoax alert. Woo, woo.
Somewhere between dad strength, mood swings, and he looks great, we stopped talking about presidents and started reviewing boyfriends. This isn't commentary. It's a crush in a suit pretending to be serious news.
And really all they need to do is just be yourself. How about you just start with being honest? But the Democrat Party hasn't been honest with the American people for at least 8 years, right? I mean, we can go back to Obama.
Comedy. Ratings for the hosts' show shot up by 43%. The following week, viewers who hadn't tuned in for years were suddenly watching, laughing, and talking politics again. Some even called it the monologue that shook Fox's ratings. Meanwhile, took a noticeable dip, not catastrophic, but enough for advertisers to take note. The network scrambled to save face. A panel of conservative pundits appeared on a weekend special to fact-check the jokes. One segment titled What He Got Wrong mostly involved complaints that comedy was being taken too seriously. But by then, the damage was done. The host returned the following week with a smile and said, "You know you've done your job when the most powerful people in the country freak out over a few punchlines." The audience cheered. And in that moment, it became clear that sometimes, laughter really is the most powerful form of resistance. Because while Trump and Fox were busy melting down, America was laughing and paying attention.
You on the Epstein list? And their answer is, relax. That's not a denial, that's a punchline. And the moment primetime news delivers punchlines instead of truth, we stop processing damage as real and start laughing at the wreckage. When power starts playing dress up, politics becomes performance. But what happens when the performance laughs back? Trump spent years turning the presidency into a punchline, then got mad when the punchline came from someone else. If you think that was petty, wait till you see who Trump tries to cancel next.
Donald Trump posted, "I absolutely love that Colbert got fired. His talent was even less than his rating." How dare you, sir? Would an untalented